In today's video, we're going to be doing a sample program that comes with Rockwell software. It's Instant Fizz, and it comes with its own HMI. So you actually get the HMI. This is a SE version, so Site Edition, and basically you can go ahead and emulate the whole thing and get it running and actually watch a simulation run. And this is basically a test program they give you. What I've done so far is I've converted it to version 20, and I've changed my processor type to emulator, which is easily done by just changing the controller type. This is in version slot 3, and I've already started my emulator. So this is in again no physical hardware. But this would be running RSLogix Emulate 5000. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and download this program. And I did this, just to kind of get the ball rolling and make this a real short video, not to take up too much of your time. So the main key points, if you want to get this as an emulated processor, you just basically come down here and change the processor, or change it up here, change that to an emulator. So come down and change it to your emulator software. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and download this to our BBP, which is our virtual backplane, and we'll download this to again, this is in slot 3, so they'll download this to slot 3. And this is again, this is not a very big program, but it is big enough to to take a small download portion. So we'll go ahead and throw this in run mode. Okay, so now as far as this goes, we're able to actually run this. This is basically the program that they send with their software. So all I'm doing is basically basically emulating it. So the same thing that they do in their trainings and stuff of that nature. I went ahead and restored the Instant Fizz SE. This is so I'm running the Factory Talk SE version 7, and I went ahead and restored the server. As far as their RSLogix Enterprise, so I need to change this to my local. So that's one thing you need to kind of look out for, is to make sure you're on the local computer. So make sure you're actually on your local computer. And I was on I'm on a VM, running a VMware, so I'm going to make sure I had my proper setup correct. And it will say that the shortcuts have been changed. So we want to make sure that we're on 3. Go ahead and verify that, hit OK, and make sure we have our alarm set up. Basically it's going to check server. Probably not going to find it unless it's looking for itself, which it may be. All I did so far is just basically restored it. I'm trying to save some time, so that's kind of what I thought. It wouldn't find anything. So we'll close this, and in properties we'll change this to this computer, and then it should actually find it now. So we should be able to run have an alarm server. Okay, so now what we can do right now is go ahead and make a new we'll make a new client, and we'll call this InstantFizz. Change the wording right there. Okay, so InstantFizz, and then this is a SE version, and it's a network distributed. We'll come down and select our InstantFizz as far as our server. We want to change our language to English, and then we'll come down and under HMI area That's where our server is. So I want to say this starts by itself, but we'll see. It should have a startup client. So the startup macro is what starts it up. And then we'll come down, and you can use diagnostics if you want to see exactly what's going on in the bottom. Basically, you want to maximize the screen, and then we'll go ahead and run the client. So right now we have the code running off of an emulator. So the emulator slot 3, and we have of course that's online, and it's running in remote run. We have now put all of our stuff into our, as far as our SE server, our RSLogix enterprise, and our factory talk alarms and events. We tied those in to our local computer anyway. So real quick, we go through this and we can see exactly what's running and what's not running, what's working and what's not working. You can easily see, you know, kind of what needs to be tightened up and fixed, right? So we can quickly go through this and tell exactly what we need to do. So we have alarms, we have everything coming in on that side. We'll go to the overview. We have, looks like we have some stuff right here working and not working. So what we can do is go to the application and pick the screen. This is blending, and we'll pick the blending screen. So let's real quick just pull one of these up. Blending right there, and we can see exactly what, just real quick, what kind of shortcut we're looking for. Shortcut, and so it's just looking for PLC shortcut. And this would be looking for, again, shortcut. So why aren't we working? So if I run this, okay, so it looks like what's happening is my RSLogix is not right. My RSLogix enterprise, the shortcut, the path of the shortcut is not correct. So what we can do is basically delete this. And then come back and add it back. So we'll come back and add that as an emulator. And it should be just like this. So an emulator, and you want to make sure you choose the right version when you're doing the emulator. And we'll call this InstantFizz. But as far as that goes, we need to make sure it's in the right channel or right slot. So we'll put it in the right slot. We'll tie that in. Hit apply. You always want to make sure and verify that it did take the path. And once it took the path, you click OK. And let's see if that helped out. So that looked like it did not help out. So we'll close this real quick. And the client keys would be so in the client keys, this is where you can tell how to shut it down. So it's actually F5 to refresh dock, and abort is D. So we'll do F5. So we come back and refreshed everything, and let's look at the main overview. Maybe that'll give us a little bit better hint of what we're missing. Maybe I pulled the wrong one. Plant overview. So again, this is looking for shortcut, and it's looking for the main program. So it may be the fact that it's just not drilling down to that level, because it's in the data server. So we'll make sure that this is in the main program. And we will make sure that we drill down to the correct level. So let's go into that's got to be program level. So in tags, so we'll look at tags real quick. And what we'll do in here is we can come in and actually refresh the server, so the HMI server, and we can go into like refresh all. And just refresh all. Let's see if that, sometimes that helps. What we really want to know is, drilling down as far as that goes, just like anything in here. We really want to make sure we're in the right thing. So that's the dashboard. And this is the data area, RSLogix. So it's looking for, hold on. It's looking for data area, which is correct. Then it's looking for the shortcut, which is correct. So if we pull that up, and F5, just to make sure that the tags are right. And we are in slot 3. Sorry, this is taking so long. It's just, this is the type of stuff you kind of run into when you try to set everything up the first time. So in the data server, okay, so we're not running that. We have shortcut, and that's in the correct statement. So this would be actually correct, and it's looking for shortcut. So I'm not sure why it's not drilling down this time. So what we'll come down here and do is we'll hit remove, and then we'll hit add, paste, and we'll make sure we put that as InstantFizz. So we'll apply it, and then enable alarms and events. Make sure you want to do that if you're using the alarms and events. You want to enable them, and then we'll hit OK and try to run it again. And it still can't find it. So okay. But as far as this goes, it's finding the shortcuts here. So this is working because our alarms and events are working. So on our screens, that's just the only thing not working. Which I say that's the only thing. I mean, that's just the main thing, right? All right. So let's go into processor and make sure everything is okay in there, which I think it is. I think we're in slot 3. We are in slot 3, and let's close this instance out and make sure that this is correct and this server is running. So I'd almost be curious at this point. No, I was going to say take the data server out, but I think it's fine, the data server being in there. And this all looks fine. Not sure why this is not picking up on the slot 3, because that's exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So what we'll do is we'll close this out real quick, and I'll close it out and reboot, because sometimes you have to do that. So what I'll do is I'll reboot, and I'll pick this video back up where I left. I've rebooted, and well, all I really did was reboot, and I went ahead and opened everything back up, which means basically I've opened up RSLogix Emulate 5000 chassis again. I've opened up the program and the Instant Fizz program that we emulated, and taken that and downloaded it to the emulator chassis. So at that point, I also opened up the RSLogix or the FactoryTalk SE HMI system. So if you look, we still have our same system that we had before. Same setup. I didn't change anything. I think what happened was when I changed, sometimes when you change, if you were to change the hosting of the RSLogix, it kind of gets messed up. So before I actually run it, I just wanted to explain that. So now we'll go ahead and try to run our client that we made and see what this does. Everything should be working right now. It actually says it's running the server and everything's functioning. So it was kind of good that happened, because you kind of get to see what you run into as far as setting up a SE system, or FactoryTalk SE system. And granted, this is running 7.0, and no matter if you're running 7.0, 8.0, or even the coming 9.0, I'm pretty much sure you're going to run into the same situation. If you're hosting on one computer and you're actually running and you transition it from one computer to another, you're going to have to reboot. So again, this is the overview. Now it's in the so we can push to stop. We can see where we're at in the process. And start everything. So we can go back to filling. I mean, so that everything is actually running 100% right now. The packaging's running. Dashboard. This is the production of it. So if you wanted to see exactly what's happening, They did a really good layout as far as what's going on here. So it kind of shows you how to do things, and this the global objects and stuff of that nature. So if you ever have trouble and you wanted to see what was going on, if you had questions about global objects or anything of that nature, this is a great application to kind of study up on, because you could actually go back in and look at the code. Like, say for instance, we looked at the let's pick one. Let's pick blending. So you can look at the agitator. At a certain level, the agitator comes on. This is a discrete two-state device, so it's pretty cut and simple, or cut and dry. This is tied in. This block right here is tied into basically. Let's look at the blending. It's tied into like a simple command right here, or a block. Basically, your HMI. So I just wanted to real quick kind of go over that and show you that everything is working, and everything is that's how you get everything fully simulated on a SE system, and yet that's how you do the Instant Fizz. So basically, if we summed everything up real quick, we summed everything up. We changed our processor type to an emulator. We changed it to version 20 because that's what version we're on. So we're 20.15. We made sure our emulator was in our correct processor, which is slot 3. We then downloaded. And then we came back and we went through the HMI, which the HMI was just restored on this PC. And then on this PC, we went ahead and changed the RSLogix. Went to properties and changed the hosting RSLogix enterprise to our RSLogix enterprise to the local computer. We did the same thing under the factory talk alarm server. So if we went to properties, we did the exact same thing there. Redundancy, we do not have redundancy right now. This is just a single PC. You can make this a redundant system if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. And then we made sure the same thing on our Instant Fizz. Our main HMI is hosting on the same computer. So you want to first off, when the application, you first unload the application and you restore it, none of these things are going to be set up for you. So you want to make sure that you do that first and foremost, and then make sure you simulate the code. When I mean simulate the code, I mean to get it ready to emulate. It will pretty much run on its own. You do not need anything because basically they have emulation code in here. So all you have to do is basically come in and start the system. So if you wanted to, let's see, push to stop, and we could grade change, and then push to start. So labeling, inventory, packaging, displays, network health. You can see right now I'm only running one local host. I'm running, it's active, no secondaries. So my HMI server is Instant Fizz, and it's running on my PC. And the data area is doing the same thing, and then the factory talk alarms and events is doing the same thing. So alarms, you can easily go look at the alarms, what's going on in the alarms and events. You can change languages. I mean, they give you that option because this is obviously meant for everyone. And you can also exit. So we'll exit the application. We'll go ahead and say what we have. And then again, always remember when you're getting offline of any kind of emulation that you're doing, that it's best practice to put in the remote program and then save. So that way when you come back to the emulator chassis, you can just simply shut it down. Okay, well, I tried to make that as quick as possible. I know that's probably leaving a lot of question, and what needs to be done, and maybe some things that could be done. So I will definitely be making some more videos on that, and maybe some itemized videos, maybe a little bit more detailed. I'll basically scrap everything I have and make another one, just to kind of give you a better idea. So just leave me some comments and stuff on what you would like to see, and what you would kind of want to see more of or less of, or whatever. Kind of give some direction, and I very much appreciate that. So that way I can at least kind of feed forward some good, positive, helpful videos. Alright, so if you would, I'll leave some links below in the show notes, and you can check those out, and contact me if you need to, or just leave a comment below. Okay, thank you for your time, and again, sorry this video took so long. Just wanted to show some good points, and I think we did. So again, thank you for your time, and subscribe if you want to. Again, no pressure. I'm continuously putting out these videos, so just trying to be helpful and help people learn. Alright, thank you.